Welcome to the latest episode of Shot Clock Scribbles, where we dive deep into the post-pounding world of the NBA action. I am your host, Tendai, and today's session, we're tackling all the high-stakes drama as we gear up for the playoff stretch. From major injuries shaking up team dynamics to the MVP race heating up, we'll break down every twist and turn on the court. Strap in as we dissect the scorching hot Boston Celtics' impressive run and analyze the record-breaking milestones achieved by both LeBron James and the rising star in Caitlin Clark. And that's not all. We'll also shovel into the intense playing scenario unfolding out in the Wild Wild West, where every game counts as teams battle for their postseason dreams. So grab your jersey, settle into your favorite spot on the couch, and get ready for a hoops-filled extravaganza right here on the Shot Clock Scribbles. I am recording this podcast on Tuesday, March 5th. It's about 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. So the Knicks are playing right now, and that's the team that I want to focus on first here. Julius Randle, the Knicks have been missing a good chunk of their front court players, including Drew here, Mitchell Robinson, and OG Anunoby. They made the trip to Cleveland a few days ago. It seems like things are going in the right direction as of late, especially with those two guys being cleared to do basketball activities. Anunoby and Randle, they've both been cleared for activities, and they're closer to return than Robinson. I think Mitchell is honestly done for the rest of the season. It really sucks for the Knicks, but they have some backup guys for that team. They need these guys right before the playoffs start. It's just right around the corner. Knicks fans now are starting to realize that Drew is a real nice asset to have. It sucks when you don't have him. So really appreciate what he has to bring on the court, especially as he's been out, and you really see that presence of Brunson basically taking over. And the 9-year vet out of Kentucky has been averaging 24, 9, and 5 per contest this season. Those are pretty good numbers. Obviously, he's an all-star, didn't play because of the injury, but it does look like things are trending in the right direction. Switching gears now to Jalen Brunson. Today, Tuesday's game, he is not playing. He sustained what the Knicks said is a knee contusion less than a minute into the New York's game against the Cleveland Cavaliers on Sunday. Brunson up for a jumper and something to do with it looked like his left knee didn't look so good. It was non-contact, and those are honestly the worst injuries that you could have. And he tried to walk it off, but you could definitely tell that it gave out and he wasn't going to be able to play for the rest of the game, which he never came back. You want to conserve his energy for the playoffs here. Let him get right before heading into the playoffs. So they've added some guard depth in that position. They signed Shake Milton from a buyout with the Pistons. And Tom Thibodeau, head coach of the Knicks, said the tests on Brunson's knee were negative. And as of late, the latest injury report, he's been listed as questionable for today's game. And I'm saying this as the Knicks play. They're losing by 10 points against the Hawks with 3 minutes left to go right now. The injuries here, Mitchell Robinson is out. His estimated time to come back is the 23rd. The last update on him is Coach Thibodeau said that Tuesday that Robinson is no longer wearing a walking boot, but hasn't started running yet. Ian Begley of the Sportsnet New York reports. That was February 20th. Julius Randle, he's expected to come back sometime next week. That puts him out at next Tuesday, 1 week out from today. On the 21st, Randle, his shoulder, said Wednesday that surgery hasn't been ruled out, but he's hoping to avoid it and doing everything he can to get back as soon as possible. Steve Popper of Newsday reports. OG Anunoby is slated to come back the same date on the 12th next week. On the 29th, the latest update from him is Anunoby's elbow was cleared for non-contact basketball activities Thursday. Steve Popper of Newsday reports. And then with Brunson, he is listed as day-to-day, March 4th, which is just yesterday. Brunson will be questionable for today's game against the Hawks due to a left knee contusion. Ian Begley of the Sportsnet New York reports. So that is the update on the New York Knicks. They're a little bit banged up and they need help before the postseason here. This year is the year that the Knicks go further than they ever have since the first round exit when they had Carmelo several years back. Switching gears now to Scotty Barnes. He underwent hand surgery. He won't be playing in the playoffs, so that's not a real concern. But either way, it's sad to see him go down like this. He was named the All-Star this season. One of his dreams was to make the All-Star game. If you're Toronto, you shut him down for the rest of the season. Let him get right during the offseason and come back fully healthy 100%. Something cool from the traveling fan base with the Raptors, I saw that this season, is every year they rent out the arena after the game, and they actually have a 505 game after the game. I thought that was pretty cool. This year they did it in Oklahoma City in the Paycom Center. It looks like some fans are not really too happy with the Kelly Olynyk extension, as his contract basically ends when he is 35 years old. Fans are a little upset. They're supposed to be a rebuilding team, and they are extending a guy that's in his early 30s there. Let's see how the Raptors look next season. You basically build around Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly. You build around those guys and let those guys go to work. And then you add some nice front court players, and you got a nice solid team there in the T-Dot. All right, let's switch gears now to Cleveland Cavaliers player Donovan Mitchell. He has missed the last few games here. On March 10th, that's the date that he is slated to come back. He's been listed as out. The last report yesterday on Monday, the 4th, the Cavaliers announced Monday that Mitchell's knee received a platelet-rich plasma injection Monday to address a left knee bone bruise and will be sidelined for at least the next 3 games. Not so sure if I said that right. Not a doctor, but yeah, he's basically getting injections and he should be coming back, is what that says. Let's go back out to the West here. So Devin Booker rolled his ankle versus the Rockets a couple nights ago. He stepped on Royce O'Neal's foot. Update from yesterday, he's been listed as out. He's likely to miss 7 to 10 days. Shams Charania of The Athletic reports. These guys haven't had 100% fully healthy players. The big three, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. We haven't seen those guys play a whole chunk of games this season. I'll be talking about this later. I think they're going to slip in the standings because there's other teams that are right on their ass right now. And they better look out because the Wild Wild West is tough, as I always say, right? Staying in the West, Russell Westbrook, he fractured his hand and he is listed as week to week. The plan is for him to come back before the playoffs start. They really need him with a late playoff push. He's been their 6th man of the year, actually him and Norman Powell. I guess that's a toss-up there. Can't go wrong, but those two guys are the engine off the Clippers bench. So Westbrook this season, he's been averaging 11, 5, and 4 in 22 minutes this season. They need him to come back. He's going to be listed week to week and just see how he does and basically evaluate him. All right, now switching gears to Joel Embiid. He had a left knee meniscus surgery back on the 4th of February. Katie George of ESPN reported during the Phillies matchup against the Mavericks on Sunday that JoJo has started on-court workouts and is back to 100% in the weight room. It looks like he's also getting closer to a return in the near future. They need him back. Even if he's not going to be 100% on the court, they need anything that they can get out of Joel Embiid, the best player who was the MVP before he went down. It's not too bad for them. They're in the East. It's not as competitive as the West, although it's been getting better and better over the years here. If he was in the West, this team would have slipped down way more into the bottom tier, probably in the play-in scenario, which we'll be talking about, the playoff scenario in the West. That was one of the questions coming out of Miguel. So JoJo this season has been averaging 35, 11, and 5 per contest. He was running away with MVP, but right now it's between the Joker, SGA, and Giannis, top 3 in the MVP race right now. All right, let's move on to the Hawks. Now, speaking about Trae Young here, he is slated to come back on April 1st. He has been listed as out. Trae Young has a torn radial collateral ligament in the 5th finger of his left hand. He will undergo surgery Tuesday and be reevaluated in 4 weeks. So they need Trae Young to come back. It looks like they're going to win tonight against the New York Knicks. DeJounte Murray has been playing pretty good without having him in the lineup. It looks like they won 116 to 110 tonight. They need him to come back, though. Those guys are going to make a late push. Those are the injuries that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, there's a lot more injuries than that, but those are the ones I wanted to talk about and how they could implicate things heading into the postseason here. All right, taking a right turn here. Next, I wanted for us to speak about the MVP race as things are getting pretty spicy as we end the season. I'll be talking about the top 6 players in the MVP race, and then we'll be talking about their numbers as well. I've already mentioned who I think is the MVP, and I'll be going over that again right now. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Top 6 players for the MVP right now, 1 through 6. Number 1, the Joker. 2, SGA, Giannis, Luka, Jason Tatum, Sabonis. Those are the top 6 players. It's coming down to 3 players, the Joker, SGA, and Giannis. Let's talk about their numbers really quick here. Starting off with the Joker, averaging around 10 field goals per game. He has played this season 59 games. So out of those guys, he's tied for number 2, the most being SGA. He's been pretty durable and reliable this season. But as far as minutes per game, he's been averaging around 34 minutes a game, makes about 10 shots out of 17 shots, 58% shooting. And he doesn't really jack up a lot of threes. He'll make 1 out of 3. He has a 48.1% as of today, Tuesday, March 5th, of winning the MVP. Just knowing how this goes, he's going to basically win it. Number 2, we got SGA. He has a 15.5 chance of winning the MVP this season. He makes 11 out of 20 shots, so 54% is what he averages. But he gets to the line quite a lot as well. In fact, he gets there almost 9 times a game, and he makes about 8 of those. So he shoots it at a nice clip at 88%. He has been playing very fucking good for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who were in a rebuild for quite a while. You see these guys really doing big things, and they're in the top 3 right now in the West. So it's going to get real dicey towards the very end of the season. SGA has been balling out this season for the Thunder. He averages 30 a night on any given night. He has once in a blue moon bad games. Every once in a while, he will have that. But he's been playing awesome for the Thunder. Number 3, Giannis has been playing out of his mind this season. He's been averaging 30, 11, and 6. So the 6'11", 243 power forward out of Greece has played sensational this year. He missed the last game, and he's having a bit of issues with his Achilles at the moment. I'm going to go watch the Bucks and Lakers play this Friday. More on that towards the very end of the pod. But Giannis has been troubled by a Achilles injury. So he's played 11 seasons for the Bucks, and he's averaged 23, 9, and 4 in around 780 games for the Bucks. And he has been selected to play in the All-Star game 7 times. He has won 1 Most Improved Player, Defensive Player of the Year award, 2 MVP awards, 1 Finals MVP award, 1 ring. Those are the players in the top 6 as far as this year. They do this thing, ratings. If we go basically off of stats, what the numbers say, SGA is number 1 with a rating of 31.55. I grabbed that just the other day, so these numbers might have changed. Giannis, true rating of 31.10. The Joker, 30.45. Luka, 28.01. Tatum, 25.03. And Sabonis with 23.55. These guys have been playing out of their minds this season. Quick stats and averages for these players. Sabonis has been averaging 20 and 13 and 8. JT has been averaging 27, 8 and 5. Luka has been averaging 34, 8, 10 here. The Joker has been averaging 26, 12, and 9. The Greek Freak has been averaging 30, 11, and 6. SGA has been averaging 31, 5, and 6. It's going to go to these top three players in SGA, Giannis, and the Joker. And I believe the Joker is going to basically win it this season. All right. Let's talk about the red hot Boston Celtics. They are first in the East and first in the Atlantic Division. A lot of good things from the Boston Celtics. They just lost tonight to the Cavs 105-104, but they are still sitting very comfortably at the top. They are now 48-13. The next team, the Bucks, 7.5 games back, and the Cavs are still 8 games back. So they are running with it in the East. The last couple games, they beat down the Golden State Warriors on Sunday, 140-88. It's the third time this season that they have beat a opponent by 50 points. On Friday, the first, they beat the Dallas Mavericks pretty comfortably, 138-110. Before that, Philly, 117-99. And then before that, the Knicks, 116-102 in the Garden in New York. Offensive rating, they have the highest offensive rating in the league at 122.7. Defensive rating, they are number 2, 111.2 points. What that says is they score 122 points and are averaging teams to 111 points. Their net rating is first in the league. They are fourth in 3-point percentage in the associations. Breaking down a few team ranks is they make about 16 threes a game and they attempt around 42. First in both of those categories there, and their percentage is fourth. They make their free throws at a pretty good clip, 81.2%. Pretty damn good there. You definitely want to be in the top 10 in free throws because in the playoffs, it could come down to free throws. You got to hit your free throws every single time if you can. They also rebound the ball pretty well. So defensive rebounding, they're first in the league. And in overall rebounding, they are also first. So pretty good numbers to have there. Blocks, they're second. And turnovers, they're third. They have around 12 turnovers per game. Points, 121.3 points is what they typically average. A couple players that I wanted to highlight in this. First, let's talk about Jaylen Brown because he had a pretty damn good game against the Warriors the other night. Steve Kerr had a game plan to basically leave Brown open and let him shoot, and he made them pay. I listened to Draymond's podcast today. You have to shut down some kind of offensive threat from the opposition and you pick your battles. And sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. He made a good chunk of his shots. The thing with JB is Celtics last season inked him to a contract that would pay him $304 million over 5 years. It made him the highest paid player in the NBA, surpassing the Joker with $276 million supermax deal from 2022. So the Celtics are going to be owing their big stars a lot of money. And we'll be talking about JT in just a moment. But this season, Brown's been playing very exceptional. The 28-year-old, 6'6" guard, 223 pounds. He's played in 56 games this season. He's averaging around 23 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, and close to 4 assists this season. Speaking about another player that is very instrumental to their success this season is Kristaps Porzingis. 29 years old, 7'2", 240 pounds. He has played in 44 games. He has missed a good chunk of games this season. He's missed around 16 games. He's averaging 27-2 this season. They need KP to be healthy. I talked about it in my last pod, but he is a vital piece for these guys, and it could be a deciding factor whether these guys win a championship this year. Draymond was talking about the Celtics. It's win or bust, basically. This is the year. We already broke all that down in the last pod, but this is the year that the Celtics need to win a championship, especially as you have two of the highest paid players in the NBA in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Speaking about Jason Tatum, 26-year-old, 6'8", 210 pounds, has played in 58. So let's talk about Jason Tatum real quick. The 26-year-old forward guard, 6'8", 210 pounds out of Duke, has played in 58 games this season. He's averaging 27, 8.4, and 4.8 per contest. So it's worthwhile to note this offseason, he becomes eligible for the largest contract in NBA history in terms of total value, potentially reaching $338 million over 5 years if the Celtics choose to extend the offer, which is the most likely scenario in this case. We talked about JB. He previously has that record of having the largest contract, but in this offseason, he is going to be the highest paid player in the NBA. On my Instagram page, Shot Clock Scribbles, I was mentioning on there, he had 13 points in the last game against the Warriors and all that. And he did see my post on there. A couple of these players actually look at my post. I'm actually just challenging JT to win his ring. Everything is all going pretty kosher. You're having a great season. You're about to get the largest contract in the NBA history. And so this is the year that he needs to win it moving forward here. He still has a lot of years in the league. If he wins a championship this season, he has a pretty good chance of winning the MVP as well. He has a great career ahead of him. Smart player. He doesn't spend his NBA checks. Rather than use his NBA salary, he basically saves all that up and he uses money from his endorsements. Right now, he currently has endorsement deals with the Jordan shoe brand, Gatorade, Subway, Ruffles, and NBA 2K. Pretty good companies to be working with, and he has a very good future ahead of him here. So that's the quick wrap-up with the Boston Celtics. They also have one of the easiest schedules moving forward. They might win the championship this year. I had the Clippers in the finals. Right now, it's projected that the Nuggets will be playing the Celtics, and the Celtics will win that. But the way that the Nuggets have been playing lately, you might want to put a stop to that. All right, let's make a right-hand turn at the stop sign here. Let's switch gears a little bit. LeBron and Caitlin Clark made some milestones over the weekend, and oh boy, it was exciting indeed. Let's talk about LeBron, and then we'll talk about Caitlin Clark in a moment here. LeBron made history Saturday night as he is the only player to hit 40,000 career points. Unfortunately, the Lakers lost this game against the Denver Nuggets, who just executed a lot more efficiently and better than the Lakers, as that team knows each other. The Lakers are still trying to get things sorted out on their end. And you hate to see all of LeBron's milestones get ruined by an L. I think the last time they also played, it was a Kobe statue night, and the Lakers lost that one too. Are we ever going to see another player break 40,000 anytime soon? I am not so sure of that, because LeBron, the way that he's playing right now, he has a couple more seasons left. I say maybe 2 to 3 years max left in the tank. He might even go longer. Bronny's just right around the corner. I think he's going to stay in school another season. I think that's probably when he will start playing, is 1 year into Bronny's NBA career. But who do you guys think will be the next player to reach this milestone, if we'll ever even see one ever again? Tap in with your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I would be intrigued to learn who you guys think would be the most equipped to break this crazy milestone. For me, who do I have one day breaking this record? Look no further than Dallas, Texas. Luka Doncic. He currently has 10,930 points as of today. I'm not so sure if the Mavericks are oh yes, the Mavericks are playing tonight. This is before their game tonight. This is almost 7:30 Pacific time. But that's the points that he has as of right now. And you know what? He's only 25 years old at the moment. He scores the rock with so much ease. And the way that the NBA is structured these days towards the offensive player, he has a great chance of getting close to that, if not surpassing it. So his career average is 28.5 points per contest, which is pretty damn good. He has looked better health-wise, especially this season. You can definitely tell that he hired the right people to take care of his body, and it's showing that on the court and the durability that he's been having. Moving forward here in the NBA, it's so laxed with giving the offensive player the advantage. So that's why we're also seeing a lot of players average 50, 60, 70 points this season. That's the way it's basically tailored. Defensive players like Bruce Bowen back in the day would not have survived in this kind of NBA climate as it is right now. Shane Battier, like, good luck, man. In this day and age now where hand check and everything is just cold left and right, good luck. If his health remains at the same level he's at this season and doesn't really miss crazy amounts of games, and God forbid has any injuries, he's the one that I would choose. He's averaging around 64 games per season in his career, and he's entering his sixth season. Next year will be his seventh season. Trae Young could also be another one. There's a lot of players on the list that could surpass this record. Kevin Durant is also one that you could look at, who scores the rock with so much ease and makes it look so effortless. Before this game that they have tonight, 28,392 points as of earlier this morning is what Durant has. He has a good chance of making it too. Durant is in his early 30s. He might be the one to crack the code, but I don't know if this ever gets broken. I don't think it's going to get broken anytime soon. That's for sure. That's my thoughts on that. Caitlin Clark, the Iowa guard, setting records left and right, man. Caitlin Clark's record-setting game versus Ohio State averaged 3.4 million views. And that's way more viewers than seeing Wemby play his very first NBA game. It shows you how the women's game is improving and continues to get more and more attraction from people all over the world and nationwide as well, which is definitely what I definitely want to talk about here. She is the record setting for the NCAA record of all time. Pete Maravich, the LSU guard, did have this record for more than 50 years. Pistol Pete, he averaged 44.2 games in his 3 years at LSU. He had 3,667 points, free throws made 893, field goals made 1,387. He played 83 games in his 3-year stretch at LSU. She breaks his record. Caitlin Clark right now is averaging 28.3 points per game. She has 3,685 points. She's made 762 free throws. She's made 509 3-point makes. Back in the day, they didn't have a 3-point line. Pete Maravich has 0. It was not included back in those days. But she's made 1,207 field goals. She's played in 130 contests, and she started her career at Iowa in 2020. Kelsey Plum, actually, speaking about another guard, Kelsey Plum out of Washington played the whole 4 years at Washington, and she averaged 25.4 points per game, but she had 3,527 points. Free throws made, she made 912. She made 343 threes, and she made 1,136 field goals in 139 games during her 4-year career. Caitlin Clark just declared that she's leaving Iowa and headed to the W. So the Indiana Fever have the number 1 pick, so it's a no-brainer there where she'll end up. Pretty cool story from Caitlin Clark's dad is she didn't play with the girls growing up. She actually played with the boys. Nike makes a billboard for Caitlin there in Iowa, I believe, with her shooting a 3, and pretty cool across the street. The basket was there. Pretty cool advertising and media there from Nike. The women's game is blossoming here. You got Juju at USC and you got Angel at LSU, and the list just goes on and on. Those are just a few, but the WNBA is going to keep on breaking records as the years go by here. Let's go ahead and turn the corner real quick. I'll be very brief about this. Yusuf Nurkic made history the other night. The most rebounds in the NBA game in 14 years during a 118-110 loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder on Sunday. There's only 4 players with over 30 boards in a game ever. Nurkic did that on Sunday. Kevin Love was the next one in 2010. Charles Barkley in 96 and Dikembe Mutombo as well in 96 had 30 boards or more during an NBA game. Pretty cool stat there. All right. Next, we're going to be speaking about the play-in scenario. This was a question that I asked my Instagram fans to ask me any question that they wanted me to cover on the pod. The question was to talk about the play-in scenario in the West and my thoughts. So let's go ahead and break that down. Right now, the Suns sit in the 6th spot, the Kings sit in the 7th, Mavericks 8, Lakers 9, Warriors number 10. The Jazz are 15 games back. They're not making the playoffs. So the way that it works, game number 1, 7 plays number 8, game number 2, 9 plays 10. And then game 3 is winner of game 2 will then play winner of game 1 away. How this works, this means that the teams with the 7th highest and 8th highest winning percentages will have 2 opportunities to win 1 game to earn a playoff spot, while the teams with the 9th highest and 10th highest winning percentages need to win 2 straight games to advance. How do I think it's going to play out? 6, Mavericks. Mavericks, I think, are going to be safe. They've been playing pretty good basketball. They just lost a game against the Celtics the other day. I expect them to be safe at the 6th spot. 7, Lakers. 8, Kings. 9, Suns. 10, Warriors. How that is going to shape up with 7 through the 10th spot here is I believe it's going to be Suns versus the Lakers. And those guys have played each other 5 times this season. And I expect the Lakers to beat the Suns in that kind of scenario. Quick little backstory. These teams have met each other 5 times. The Lakers have beat them 3 out of the 5 times. The Suns have won the last 2 games. And these games are always pretty high scoring, 115 points or more this season. That's how I see that shaping up. All right. I appreciate you guys listening to the pod all the way to the end here. I will be attending the Bucks and Lakers game this Friday. Hopefully Giannis plays. It'll be my first time in the crypto.com arena in that area off of Figueroa. First time. Very excited to see what the arena looks like. I know it's been around for quite a while, close to 25 years here, but I am very excited. I am also excited to see the statue of Kobe. Definitely. I can't wait to see that. I'll be definitely taking pictures and videos and be reporting to you guys when I have my next episode dropping next week. I'll also be having merch available coming up soon. More on that a little bit later. But that is a wrap for episode number 9. Make sure you guys subscribe, follow my page on Instagram, Shot Clock Scribbles. I do have some highlights I post and also breaking news on there as well, in addition to the pod here. Appreciate you guys listening all the way to the end. Make sure you guys give me reviews, stars, and send it over to your friends that you think would enjoy this pod. All right, that's all I have for now. Cheers.